Hey, Lee Wolf here, and we are live on this Game Face Monday. Hope everyone had a great weekend, and thank you as always for watching and listening. And how you doing, Richie?
Good, Lee. How are you today, buddy?
All right. Long weekend, got a lot done around the house, but back at the desk.
Good.
Ready to rock. And how are things down in Georgia?
Good. Georgia's nice. It's okay. We got an opportunity here, so we flew out here. We got to be here probably most likely the whole year. So we're looking right now either apartment hunting or house hunting, whatever you want to call it.
All right. Is it 4,000 degrees?
Well, it's not bad out. It's okay. I like Georgia, honestly,
Cool.
Me, I'm not a big promoter of New York,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not interested. But, I like Georgia. I like the South,
All right.
Florida, Georgia is good for me. Or even the Carolinas is good for me, too,
Yeah, that's a nice mix, nice area.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know today we're going to be hitting up better retention, talking about better retention and better leads. But before we get rolling on the show, just going to run a quick promo for SSA, VIN-Specific leads. We continue to show dealerships across the country how to retain their customers. But now Shop Smart Autos wants to bring the new customers right to your showroom floor. The car they want? It's sitting on your lot, and Shop Smart Autos can bring you the VIN-specific leads that take them straight to your door. These aren't just leads. They're nurtured, targeted, and matched down to the exact vehicle. You'll sell more cars faster, and your team is going to thank you for it. Shop Smart Autos VIN-specific leads. Let SSA show them the way to your showroom floor. All right, so we're talking about a pretty dramatic difference in the quality of these leads compared to what dealerships are used to. And it's like I've been banging my head against the wall because I really hope that the dealers, the owners, the managers out there are listening, because these are literally leads that are VIN targeted directly to their showroom floor. How is, for the audience's sake, I mean, in broad strokes, how is that even done?
Well, it's a real simple thing. There's something called VIN-specific ads. It's been around for the last decade. All you got to do is upload the feed. If you're a digital marketing person, you know what to do. All you got to do is upload the feed, and you start getting ads on those cars with the VIN number. And then all we do is drive customers to our vehicle details page. And once they fill out the form there, the machine starts working, It's a real simple process. It's like, they've been out there like that. You can upload the feed now on Facebook. You can upload it anywhere.
Right. But for the dealers to understand, this isn't like, a shared lead. It's not a lead where, so-and-so is looking for a Nissan Altima. This is so-and-so is literally looking for the Nissan Altima that's sitting on your lot.
Right.
Right.
And dealers know about a lot of dealers, because they have either Team Velocity or Dealer Team or whatever. They know about the ads. They know how to get VIN-specific leads, because they get VIN-specific leads on their website.
Right.
It's just that dealers' website is so terrible for conversion that it's like a waste of time for them to do that, because now you're dealing with speed, you're dealing with conversion, you're dealing with this, you're dealing with all kinds of stuff that you have to fix,
Right.
Especially these dealer pages that are not getting what they were getting, or they're just not converting. It's terrible conversion for dealers, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And what does it mean for the dealers, and what does it actually mean that these leads are nurtured before and after?
Well, that we communicate at least 3 times with that customer and find out that that customer really wants the vehicle.
Right.
So you got to ask these questions,
Right. Right. So, but kind of like, so they're hit up with messages.
Yeah, SMS messages. It's always been like that. Now these people that call themselves, we nurture leads. Well, that's been going on for quite some time. I don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
People that say, well, we nurture leads. Well, everybody knows that you got to nurture leads,
Yeah.
How do we get all that information, all that VIN number if we don't nurture leads? You know what I mean? Everybody knows that.
Right. Right.
Now you got all these people coming up that never even in the car business before,
Right.
And some of these companies might have a couple of sales guys that were in the B2B sector. And just because they were in the B2B sector, they right away think that they know what they're talking about when it comes to lead gen,
Right.
Ask all these companies, and let me ask you a question. How long have you made a living selling lead generation? Like, what have you done with lead generation,
Right.
They just nurturing. They don't even generate the leads,
Mm-hmm.
So they don't know how hard it is to generate that lead, let alone nurturing it then.
Right.
They don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They care less how they nurture it. They just go in there and just say, this is what I do now.
Right.
They basically woke up one day, rolled over a bed and said, oh, by the way, I want to be a lead nurturer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How's that? Just because they have the resources or the money to get and buy technology, that's one thing. What about the rest of the stuff? You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
What about when that dealership says this is not really working?
Right.
Your theory is not working. I know plenty of people like that out there now that have gotten involved in something that maybe they shouldn't have. Who knows?
Right.
So nurturing leads is good if you know what you're doing. If you've been doing it for quite some time, then that's good. What proven track record do you have? You know what I mean?
Right.
And it ain't about the leads anymore, to be honest with you. It's about the nurturing. So what is Shop Smart? So Shop Smart is the only platform that nurtures your customers, Mr. Dealer, not just for now, for the next time that customer wants to buy a car. Where you don't have that process, we do. And
Right.
it's an application with app.whitedovebird.com. And the other thing is you're going to have our own platform. Dealers are going to be able to log in and do it themselves or hire us to do it. Not like a lot of these companies that don't let you do their platform. Ooh, no, don't have them log in the platform. Well, why not?
Right.
Is there such a thing as you have a platform, or what do you do? What do you have? Just an SMS and this nonsense stuff, Give the dealership access to it, like we do.
Right. Right.
Let them see what it is. Everybody says, I have this platform, I have that platform, but nobody gives you access to it.
Right.
So that the dealer, the people have to do it, the tech companies have to do it. Why not give access to the dealer and teach him how to do it? Why not educate the dealer and
absolutely.
the dealer's team on how to do this?
Right.
Like Automotive Mastermind, they give you your own password, they give you your own thing. A lot of people say they have this, and they don't. Matador is another one. Matador's got all the technology you can imagine. There's a good friend of mine's, Nick. He's got all the technology you can imagine. He gives dealers all access to his platform. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
What are you holding something? Are you holding something a secret that you don't want to give dealers your platform? What is it?
Right.
You want to train your dealers. If you're really a software as a service, you want to teach them so they can use your software.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Why would I want to hide it?
Right.
I want to give as many people that can use the software as possible.
Yeah. Get them in there, get them running.
Let's talk about the lead generation. What is it with the lead generation now, right? Versus COVID, right? And let's take a step further than that. Really, really, lead generation, when you were a car sales guy or general manager, whatever, when you got a phone call from a lead generation company, the first thing you did was, I'm not interested. I don't want third-party leads.
Right.
Now it's like, okay, I'm interested, and what's my ROI going to be? So let's talk about that. Right off the gate, you're talking about 2 to 3%. You know, forget about the nonsense that you see online or the trader and all that. That's just a marketing perspective, 8 or 9%. That's all bullshit, okay? You're not going to get more than 2 or 3%. In the nurturing part, you're going to get 8%. So right off the gate, you're going to get 2 to 3. 100 leads gives you 3 cars. And the nurturing part, you're going to get 8 to 10%. So now you're talking about a campaign within those 45 to 60 days at 100 leads, you could get up to 12 deals.
All right.
12 deals at $5,000 is what?
What do you mean 12 is what?
How much money is that? 5,000 times.
Oh, 12 times 5 is 60. Yeah, 60,000.
That's 60,000. The lead generation will probably cost you 4,500 or 5,000.
Right.
So talk about an ROI. Not only that, you're communicating with your customer.
Right.
All right. You're nurturing those customers, and the number just keeps going up and up and up.
Right.
And up.
Right.
So the lead generation, how you're going to get to that next level is by third-party lead generation. And now you can start doing your email marketing. Now you can start doing your SMS. Now you can start doing your phone calls, you know?
Right.
So we have a nurturing program that is SMS, email marketing, and WhatsApp marketing, right? And our lead generation program is also going to have the availability of AI agents. So, and customers, dealers are going to be able to log in. We issue you a code. You're able to log in, and you're able to get whatever you want to see. Right. You're able to see whatever you want to see.
Awesome.
So instead of being, keeping it under the radar,
Yeah, give them access. Absolutely.
Right. And now the lead generation is happening in a big scale. You walk into dealerships today and nobody's got any leads. That's the first thing they tell you.
Right.
We got no customers. We don't have none of this. I mean, you know what I mean? So it's the lead generation thing is important,
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Yeah. And then, so now lead gen works, SSA VIN specific leads, obviously a much better option. Now they have these customers, and the big thought process that we've been pushing over the last half a year to a year now is retention. Retention is tremendous. And once again, I'm just going to run a quick spot from Shop Smart Autos on the SSA.
Before you do that, I'm going to just say something about our process. So we developed a retention tool, okay? Why did we do that? Okay? We always had the leads. That's not an issue. The retention tool is very important because the retention tool is you, Mr. Dealer, your report card. So it gives us an assessment of how you are handling your customers, right? Now we know when we put 100 leads in your lap, now we know what we got to do to help you convert higher. If you're blind, I really can't help you. If I'm blind, I can't help you, right? By having this report and knowing your culture of your dealership. That's what it gives me. A deep dive under the hood, so that way I know the leads that I'm going to drive to ABC Motors are going to convert, and this is why.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the type of vehicles they do good with. Okay, so now we have a plan. At SSA, we have a plan. We have a data plan to help the dealership get a better conversion and sell more cars. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters to a dealership is how many cars are we going to sell.
Right. Right. Absolutely. All right. We'll be right back in 1 minute. Before you spend another dime on marketing and advertising, inspect what you expect. The SSA VIN retention report from Shop Smart Autos is the answer. Do you know your retention status? You might be losing hundreds of customers a month, but what if you could keep just a few more? Each retained customer means thousands in revenue, adding up to millions per year. The SSA VIN retention report is the inspection tool you've been looking for. Find out what you're missing before it costs you. All right, so that's the SSA VIN retention report, which we were heavily talking about in the past. And now, especially with these leads really taking off and dealerships taking full advantage of them, retention is, definitely where it's at, and knowing their health, their retention health. So SSA VIN retention report can literally show dealers the VINs that they're holding on to, the VINs that they lost, and then where those people ended up, right?
Right. And the biggest thing to really study this is, Mr. Dealer, you have a problem. You're losing a lot of customers to your private seller network. Okay, that's one issue. The other issue is, why are our inventory getting old? Why are dealerships averaging now 98, 100 days? Well, we have a solution for that. I can take that feed, Lee, like you said, the VIN retention report, right? I can take that entire feed and only give you leads on the inventory that's aging.
That's huge.
Anything over 60 days, that's when you're going to get leads. So we can set that up like that. So that's a big profit center for a dealership.
Right.
I mean, if you have 30 models and you're getting 100 leads in your oldest age units, you know what that means? You're going to sell those cars.
Right.
And you're not going to take a bath at the auction.
Right.
Because now you got 10 or 12 customers on your same car. Now, we just made your car hot.
Right.
We just put transactional customers on your old age inventory like it just came in.
Right.
So just think about that for a minute, and what could you do with that?
Yeah, it's tremendous.
Right.
Yeah, to take something that's been just basically costing you rent and turn it into a hot lead, turn it into a VIN-specific lead.
Yeah, get your inventory. Let's say you got 25 cars. Those 25 cars will get 100 leads in the spread of 25 vehicles.
Right.
That are old, that are almost going to the auction.
Right.
Now imagine that.
Right.
Imagine you having the ability to only get leads on your old age units. That means goodbye mistakes. That means, because you're getting the customers on it.
Right. Right. Yeah, they're specifically looking for that vehicle. They're out there.
Right. But we could do that. With our technology, we could do that. Only promote the vehicles that are old age units. You got to understand, your old age units are only in your own head.
Mm-hmm.
You hire all new salespeople in your showroom today, and you'll start seeing your old age units go away. because to them it's not old age units.
Right. Yeah, that excitement is there.
Yeah, to them they're not old age units. To them they just got there.
Right.
So that's what we do. We bring fresh new customers to that old age inventory that you have.
Let me ask you this: when it comes to retention health, too, because sometimes we're blown away. I think there was one dealership that you told me. I'm not going to name names, but they had like 70 or 80% retention. There was one out there, right? That was like unbelievably high.
Toyota.
Okay. But even at 70 or 80%, wouldn't you still want to continuously be tracking your retention? And even if you can make that 70% 75, isn't it worth it?
Yeah, or even if, in the car business, even if you can make that 70%, 72,
right,
71, 1% in the car business is huge.
Yeah.
When you take down that to profits, because the volume, you know what I mean? So
right.
It's a very important way to look at things. 1% is huge.
Right.
1%. Parkway Toyota, which I haven't seen anybody at 75 or 80%, just doesn't. I've seen people at 8%, 10%, 12%. I mean, Parkway Toyota does a very good job.
Yeah, it's huge. Did they have competition in the area too?
Do they have what?
Competition in the area as well?
Yeah, they do a lot of marketing. They do a lot of email marketing. They do a lot of different type of marketing that retains their customers.
Right. Wow.
Like they're always staying in touch with their customers. If you call them up and you're a vendor, the owner right away tells you, what do you have to retain my customers?
Right. That's it.
They're in the state of Texas.
Yeah, but I keep forgetting to ask you that question because we saw some dealerships losing like 300 customers a month, like crazy stuff. Yeah. But then you see some losing 30 a month. But if you take that 30 and you can get it down to 27 and get 3 extra cars and 36 more vehicles a year, it's still well worth always tracking. Just because you have great retention health doesn't mean you can't do even better.
Well, the real thing to look at is this. So you have a store that does 74% in retention. Let's take a deep dive. Okay, we know he's retaining his customers, right? We know that. How far is he retaining them? What happens to the private seller network? Well, even there, he loses 10 or 12 a year.
Right.
So his customers are happy with him in service. His customers are happy with his communication and service.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because if his communication and service would not be good,
gone,
then you would see those numbers right there, right? So he's doing overall a great job. Because when I look at online auctions, which is nothing more than a marketplace, and he gets 8 or 9 of them a year, when he looks at that, I don't see anybody eating his lunch as much as the other guys. So that tells you something. That tells you, okay, this guy's doing something right.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry.
That's the problem with the lead generation. Now you take a deep dive at the lead generation. Why do some stores can't convert leads through the internet? There are stores out there, and knowledge is a fact that there ain't any platform that's going to help them convert. The stores out there right now actively that cannot convert. Well, that's because of their training. That's because of the people. That's because of there's nothing. There's nothing there. There is no process. There is no workflow.
Right.
what happens when a lead comes in to this store?
Right.
Let's take me through the roadmap and let me see if I understand where there's a breakdown.
Right. Absolutely.
Because there's obviously a breakdown. If you have a store that's not converting on third-party leads, there's a breakdown.
Right. Right. Well, it's like you always would say with, and it's off topic, but search engine optimization. Everyone wants to I want my optimization. I want to bring the people. I want to bring the people. And you would always say to me, but what's the health of their website? Their
Right.
website might be garbage. It might not be converting. It might be slow. It might be, and
Yeah.
I never, back in the day when I wasn't really a web guy, or software guy in any way. I never thought that way. I always thought you get enough traffic in there, it's just gonna, people are gonna bite. And yeah, you would always say, what's the grade of the website? We can't do anything until this website's fixed. And it's the same thing with, you don't want to pump 50 customers a month into a car dealership that can't sell a car or can't take no and turn it into a yes. Or
Right.
absolutely.
The problem is that when a customer comes in for a car, right, or fills out a form that they want to buy a car, the problem with third lead generation is that we're missing something: nurturing that customer, not you being an order taker. There's a big difference. You call the customer up with that mindset of an order taker that you are, and now you think you're just going to sell a car. Well, that's not true.
Right.
You have to nurture that customer. You have to make sure that customer understands everything. You have to make sure that customer comes into the showroom. Listen, I had a dealership, all right? And with one of my leads, I overheard it.
Mm-hmm.
They're working a deal over the phone,
Right,
with arguing with the customer. We can't do that payment. What do you think? You're in the 80s? Let me tell you a question. Let me just say this. Why would somebody try to insult a customer over the phone?
mm-hmm.
How is that? Let alone over the phone. You shouldn't be insulting a customer no matter what.
Right.
Whether they're in front of you or they're over the phone. You're supposed to bring that customer in, agree, and overcome their payment.
Right.
And if you can't agree and overcome their payment, you're in the wrong business.
Right.
Okay, maybe you should leave and do something else. Okay, please, you'll do everybody else a favor. Instead of, and you got to see these people there, what they do is they whine, they cry, and that this customer, that only happens to him. And now the whole showroom knows about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a negative mindset in a showroom environment.
Right.
And that's what happens when people do that kind of way that they're doing. They're doing a pretty bad job out there when you look at and listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lead, like this gentleman here. This is Aaron, right? Aaron's a personal friend of mine. Aaron's got a good company with a big team, MLMscores.com. He's been in my life a very long time. He generates leads for affiliate marketers.
Mm.
A lot of people say his leads don't work. What are you talking about? His leads doesn't work. You got a form. You got somebody that's interested. What do you mean it doesn't work?
Yeah.
Did you have a form before you paid him? No. Now you have to work the process. You have to work it.
Right.
And Lee, it's like everything else. You were selling at one-time finance.
Mm-hmm.
That had leads. I never heard you say, "Oh, that lead's terrible." This other leads. Mm-hmm. I never heard you say anything like that. You were grateful that you were getting leads and you were trying to make it work.
Yeah.
Trying to make them convert.
Yeah, it was tough too. I was getting a lot of people with credit scores in the 500s and 600s.
Yeah.
And in the end, it was most of the time you could find a way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get a lead and be creative enough to spin a deal out of it.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I had this dealership in Jersey, and the guy couldn't make it happen. And one of my friends is actually the owner of the dealership. It's a pretty big store. Today they got like maybe 5 or 6 stores. The owner is a friend, and it's a new car franchise. And the guy he had there in the Nissan store, all he did was whine all day. All he did was say why that lead is not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
With a VIN number, make and model, and a trade-in that has 150,000 miles. Why that lead's not for him. Really?
Right.
The customer filled out a form that's got a trade-in of 150,000 miles. You got a VIN number. And he's financing that car already. So he qualifies for a loan. I mean, I don't understand. And that's the way it is. But now there's hopefully a whole different type of head with this lead generation, and people are getting back into the third party leads, which, there's no traffic. That's why it's happening. Because the last thing a dealer would ever want is third party leads, trust me.
Right.
But when there's no traffic, they're going to take whatever comes their way. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to make a living, and you got to start selling cars,
Right. Yeah. But the SSA VIN-specific leads, it's not that it's impossible to share them, but they're not shared.
Well, it is impossible to share them, because if I have you that filled out a VIN number, how am I going to give that to the other store when you're the dealer, you own that car?
Kind of like just getting them into the same close thing.
Yeah, how am I going to do that?
Right.
I can't.
For that specific car, it doesn't work. But I mean, if someone's looking for, a 2015 Honda Civic with around this many miles, you could technically give that lead to someone else, and they could just get them into a similar vehicle and try to work the system that way. But Shop Smart Autos in no way shares these leads with anyone. They go only to you.
Well, it doesn't make sense to share it, because now you're dealing with confrontation selling.
Right.
If I have you that you filled out a form,
it's bait and switch
of a Nissan with the VIN number, and now I give it to Larry that has a Honda store to sell an Accord, you're starting the lead with confrontation.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're starting a lead you right off the bat with a no. That's what you're starting a lead with, which is okay. Because if they tell you no on the inventory, they might tell you yes for the car sales. You know what I mean? Which I start a lead all the time with a no, but you can't just give it to somebody else and sell it, because how's anybody going to buy that lead with not their VIN number? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it doesn't work.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful thing.
And we don't share that with anybody. And that's why we did this with VIN-Specific, because we feel just the make, the model, the VIN number, and the stock number, it's a unique lead for that dealership. Now, his conversion's got to be higher. Now, what does happen is that customer might have shopped that car online, and you got the lead, but they are still shopping.
Mm-hmm.
If nobody calls them like right away, they're going to keep shopping until they get what they want.
Right. Absolutely.
But you should get that lead right away and get an appointment with our AI agents. Mr. Dealer's not going to have that problem. So we're going to have those AI agents right away make phone calls and appointment setting. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, speaking of AI, actually, we're just going to break away for 1 minute with a retention minute with JP over at VinSight.
If you're not mining your service drive for repeat buyers and more revenues, you're leaving money on the table. See, guys, a lot of these customers coming into your service drive don't really think about buying their next car at that time. This is a fail, and it's a retention leak. Here's the play. Every time someone comes in for an oil change, a brake job, tire rotation, that's a retention opportunity. It's a touch point, a moment to remind them, we know your vehicle, we know your finance terms, and we have upgrade options when you're ready. But here's the thing, you need the technology that brings that data together without relying on your team to remember every detail. So Ivan by VIN-Sight, that's exactly what it does. And the dealers that are using it, they're winning. All right, so my name's JP. I'm with VIN-Sight. You sell them, we keep them coming back.
All right. And VIN-Sight, that's one heck of a retention tool for dealerships.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear about the new AI? There's AI and then there's SI.
No, I would think of that as Sports Illustrated. What's
more human AI?
Really?
Synthetic AI.
Oh, really?
It's more the way a human thinks.
Huh. Let me see.
AI versus SI.
Synthetic AI refers to AI technologies that create new data, content, or even intelligence, such as synthetic data, artificially generated data for training AI, or synthetic media, AI-generated images, videos, audio. It's a broad term that can also imply more genuine and less imitative form of intelligence than traditional. So yeah, it seems more human. Interesting. That'll be the next change.
Well, that's out there already. I saw something here Monday. I'm not at liberty to say what it does, but what I saw as far as the lead generation and AI agents and all that, once that product line is out there, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
Once these bots are going to be able to answer any problems a customer has, whether it's chat, whether it's sending them a link to a Zoom, whether it's sending them all kinds of information. This is like never seen this by far, the kind of information that's out there.
Well, see where that takes us.
Yeah.
So
really a crazy thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, the website is shopsmartautos4dealers.com. I can actually pop it up one more time at the bottom of the screen here. And that's whether you want to take a look at your retention health with the SSA VIN retention reports, or if you want to take a look further into SSA VIN specific leads. And we Shop Smart Autos will actually review that first report with them, right? And go over their retention health.
Yes, correct. Yep.
Cool stuff. And anything else to add for the dealers out there before we let them go?
No, I just want to ask dealers if you need, if you need anything, make sure you reach out to us. We're here to help you guys, and I will be in different markets. As the first part, I'll be in this market in Georgia. The next few months, I'll be in different markets. I'll be going from market to market.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. And Labor Day, we're going to be off the air, and then we'll be back following Monday. So from here, just hope everyone has a great Labor Day weekend. Takes a little time to rest, hang out with friends and family, stay safe. And thanks for doing what you do.
Thank you.
All right.